Good, very early in the morning, everyone. It is currently nearing 3 a.m. Around where I am, but it's nearing 7 p.m. I believe in this time zone that NA does the tournaments in. And we're about to go see the round robins, day one of the spring season tournament of the professionals tournament. And we're gonna be following Primeau. Gonna be interesting matchup, and if it's anything like the battles I've seen yesterday, so far from both Asia and EU, it's gonna be quite epic, and I can't wait to show you everything. So I'm gonna take away the preview so that you see my garage. We are waiting for the training room at the moment, and basically that's what we're doing. We're just waiting. And a room should be up in not too long, in about 4 minutes to be exact. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna let you look at where we are going, what we're gonna watch. We are going to be viewing Primeau versus Pincer and Primeau versus RGN Chaos, because they have two teams in the professionals. So Chaos will be the name that I'll be using for this. And we're gonna be seeing them on Middelburg, Vineyards, Dynasty Spurl, and Castilla, Mayan Ruins, and Port Bay. I'm probably gonna forget that quite often because I do that, and my memory does not help me. And for the most time, we will be waiting. I do have some replays lined up for in between the battles, but right now that doesn't really do us any good because I'm not gonna play a replay right now as there's too little time left, and I don't want to risk it. I am gonna open my last free container on this account, and it's Poopsters. This is not a real normal playing account, by the way. This is a press account, hence why I got the insane amount of gold. And that's not something that I'll be using much. I would love to have that amount of gold on my main account, to be honest. That would be very, very nice. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna meet on Middelburg, which looks like this. We have, in this case, not a south and a north spawn, but a left spawn and a right spawn. We have two bases inside the city, and we have one base on the hills. But on the same time, when it comes to randoms, I always prefer to go to the hills because you have generally better positioning there, and it's easier to keep the hill than it is to take the hill. So it's interesting to see what people do in these games, because I've seen teams go uphill, I've seen teams hold the city, and sometimes it either can work out. So it will be cool to see what they do and how NA is handling that. And after Middelburg, we are going to Vineyards. Vineyards is a map that I actually really like. I liked it even more when it was the dusk map instead of now like it is dawn. I liked it when it was a little bit dark in coloring and everything. It was just pretty. Not so much now, but we do have three bases, one in the city, one for the south spawn and one for the north spawn. And basically A and B both have spots where you can just cap it in peace without getting it decapped by your enemy unless they're very forwards. And there are a few teams that have used those tactics where you can just forget about capping and base because they're already there and they're already shooting you. So that's basically it. I have not yet reached the fifth map. If we do, I will pull that up. Well, the third map, I should say, for the fifth game. If we do reach that, I will pull up that map and go over it a little bit as well. Like I said, we're now just waiting for the whole room invite. And then we're good to go. I'm firing up YouTube, because that's the thing as well. It always wants me to click a few extra buttons before I'm actually live on the thing. And then we will be basically streaming and live and just waiting for an invite to a training. Well, not training room, I think. I'm not sure how they do that. And there is the invite. There we go. I'm gonna ready up so that I don't forget, because that would be quite dreadful. And we are officially live as well, of course. And we don't want to miss a battle. At the same time, there is a link in the description, and if you want coins and you're on the NA server, You need to follow that link, watch through the portal, and then you can get coins. This only works for NA accounts. It's NA coins for NA accounts, just like it is Asia accounts, Asia coins for Asia accounts, and EU coins for EU accounts. But you only get them when you look through the portal and not through YouTube, even though the link in the game links you directly to YouTube. So that can be logical and stuff. So let's just see. I'm making sure that I do not have a map on the screen. I do not. And basically I'm all set to go. And the teams are pretty much all set to go as well. This is one other thing that I always dislike about this whole thing. Just the first wait is so long. And on Primeau's side for Middleburg, we see so far an E50M, an AMX50B, a mouse, a 268 and two 140s, and potentially another 50B. On Pincer's side, we see an E3, three 113s, an i7, a 140, and an E3, and another E3. That's a lot of firepower. With this lineup, I would expect him to go city at the same time. That doesn't have to be. One E3 just got taken out, and we might just have a Object 140 in turn. Oh, but that becomes an E3, so we are sticking with the E3. That is a lot of firepower, and yeah, like I'm always curious to see what people will do, because they can surprise me quite much with what they do in team battles, because as a team you think about the tactics, you move as a team, you coordinate as a team, you're generally on voice as a team. So what you do does not have to go at all with what would be logical for you to do with the lineup that you have if you were in a random battle. Because you can go so much, you can do so much more, you can go so much further in everything. So we have 2 minutes left to go. On the Primeau's side, they did decide on that extra AMX50B. So that's already... And now we're just waiting for the last guy to ready up on Pincer's side. And then we still have like a minute and a half to go. We do see some changes. And Primeau's just sitting there waiting quietly for the battle to start. 140 readied up again. And E3 for sure. Okay. E3s are TDs that I've seen quite a bit these days. With the tournament and everything, E3s and 268s. I even saw one grill and a few 263s. But basically the 268 is the TD to dominate the battles, and depending on the map it's either that or the E3. I quite like both tanks. The 268 was the second tier 10 I ever got, and the E3 was the third. Even though with the E3 line, the T95, I pretty much free XP'd. It was the first tank that I ever free XP'd. But the E3 was just absolutely lovely, and it's been buffed since then. But it was kind of needed with all the new tier tanks we got since then. Because at the time there weren't all that many lines. And that makes me feel so old saying that. So in 18 seconds we're gonna go into the battles. And then we will see what they do with these lineups, where they go and what happens and all of that. The thing is that one of the guys from Pincer, that's why they have the 140, there's always one guy that starts in the hills. That's why you generally always want to have a medium on your team on this map. Because it would be quite awful if you were to start and then you suddenly have a mouse up in the hills or something, and that is not where you plan them at all. And we are already... Ooh, this camera looks so nice. There we go. And we have Pincer making a definite move towards both town and the hill. We have Chicks that is taking base B. And we see a little bit of a fight for base C probably. First shots being taken. That was a nice bounce to see. You saw the shot go into the air. But they need to be careful. That was nice trolling by Tenor basically, because now they have a base. They have 2 bases actually, and that gives Primeau the upper hand. At the same time, you have the E3s that are behind that IS-7. The mouse is turned to face the hill. I think they're sort of guessing where everyone will be. And we now see that the 268 is also relocating to get to the hill. And we have Tenor that is going to get absolutely focused here. Ooh, look at the HP just vanishing there. And they need to take out that 113. And there he goes. First gun gone. We have Pincer now taking base C. But he will get another shot in. It didn't work. And there goes Tenor. But at the same time, it cost Pincer 2 tanks to get rid of one of Primeau's. And that was a mouse that took a massive hit. But I'm going to focus on this, because this is some focus fire. And there we go. 3 guns gone from Pincer. And the mouse is in a bit of a precarious position, but the E3s can't really hurt him much now. And we see the 268 taking some shot into the E3. And this is what the mouse is for. The mouse is in an armored house. And they can afford to just lose HP like that. I'm going to take you over to the IS-7, because this is the most... The E3s are pretty much holding, and everyone else is holding. And ooh, that was a massive shot into Reich there. We are seeing some HP vanish from the E3. There he goes. And now we have an IS-7 and 1 E3 left to handle. And this is not looking good for Pincer at all. There he goes. Now 1 very lone IS-7 left. He does to get another shot of damage in, but that is it. And the first game is definitely Primeau's. Nicely played, lovely focus fire. And look at that difference in damage too. Oh wow. So let's ready up so that we don't miss the second battle. We see Pincer not really readied up yet. We see a YOLO wagon on Pincer's team though. And we see other tanks appearing. Another YOLO wagon in the bed chat. And at the meantime, Primeau is ready with an E50M, 2 AMX 50Bs, a mouse, a 268, a Batchat, and an IS-7. So they dropped the 140s and picked something else. So that could go either way. Now Pincer has readied up as well with a mouse, 2 YOLO wagons, a 113, 2 113s even, a Batchat, and a mouse again. So that's basically 2, 2, 2 and a Batchat. And in 50 seconds we will be going live into the battle and we'll see what happens then. I'm wondering if we're gonna see some different strats now. Technically speaking, that would be logical, especially when you go for 2 mice. Taking a mice up into the hills isn't something that I would generally do because it just takes forever for them to get there. I like that people are talking about coins. Just sending a quick reply there. And here we go. Again, I really like this camo, it looks good. I do not have the AMX 50B myself, I'm not that big a fan of it. But I do see it quite often, and especially in 2s, because then they can clip people together and that's quite evil. We see Primeau now splitting up the team a bit more than the last time, with the mouse taking a position that is holding and the IS-7 capping the base. We have the Batchats facing off against each other. Well, not really, it's an E50M versus a Batchat and a Batchat holding a little bit. We see some first shots being taken and Pincer looks to be going to push through the town. That was a shot that didn't pen, but it did get him spotted, so he needs to be careful. And the 268 is not quite as armored as an E3. Half of Pincer is down below. Primeau has 2 bases now though. And I wonder if they know. Ooh, that was big hits into the Batchat over there. And there goes the Batchat. I don't understand why Pincer isn't moving. They're holding, but they're not pushing. They're not really committing to anything. And if they knew, which they probably would have, that there were so many tanks up on the hill, they should have pushed. At the same time, I think they're content to hold and await the push from here. With the 113 that is in the middle of the hill. We have Unique that is making a bit of a spotty. Tanner losing a bit of HP there. Unique is heading around the other way. And Primeau is content to hold. They don't really need to do anything. They just need to hold. They took out a gun. They have 2 bases. The pressure will definitely be on Pincer to do something, anything, to win this. And they don't have to make that. This is a nice push by Reich. He is losing some HP for it. Oh, he's losing a lot of HP for it. But he did get quite some nice shots in there. Now the 113 is pushing in. But Reich is not alone. He has friends. And Pincer seems to be divided. They're not making the push they really need to. Because there's already 855 points for Primeau. And it is going up quite a bit faster than it is for Pincer. We're at 900 points now. They're now committing to a push. But by the time they get there, the battle will be over. And I don't think they expected that. We have the one mouse that is going to go versus another mouse. But this is definitely the more interesting side of the battle. All they need to do is survive for like a few more seconds. And then they've got this battle. And Pincer waited way too long to make a move. Now the game is Primeau's already. Look at this. Battle of 3 minutes. And it's over. Neither team did all that much damage. And in 2 minutes we will be going to Vineyards. And Vineyards is, as I showed, this map with base A and B near their respective spawns and base C in town. And it will be cool to see what they do here on this map. Generally, you always need to get the base closest to you, but there have been some really cheeky tactics where people just don't. And, well, they get their base and then they make sure that the other one, the enemy, doesn't get their base closest to their spawn. So, Primeau is all readied up with an E3, 3 Batchats, an IS-4, a Foch and a 268. So there's a lot of mobility and a lot of firepower. And on Pincer's side, we see a mouse, an IS-7, an AMX. Oh, we see now 2 AMX 50Bs, an IS-7, two 140s, an E3, and potentially an IS-4. But that's, so by the looks of it, becoming an AMX 50B as well. There are some changes being made still. And now we just wait. We have now a Batchat instead of one of the AMXs. So 2 AMXs, 1 Batchat, 2 140s, and an E3, and IS-7. Versus an E3, a Foch, a 268, and an IS-4, and 3 Batchats. Here we go. Nice camos. Pretty much anything looks good on the Batchat. We have 2 of the Batchats focusing on base A by the looks of it, one of them going more to the middle. And we have Pincer focusing entirely on the left and top side of the map. Base C is completely ignored, and I think that Primeau will be capping that as soon as they can. But base B isn't capped either. I'm surprised at that. They're going for some cheeky pushes. But Primeau is still getting the base because they were capping with 2 and one of them was hidden. So now the pressure will be on Pincer to make a move. And we have the E3s and the Batchas that are pulling back because I think they are sensing that there's going to be a push here. We have the Foch getting into position. We see massive shots into one of the AMXs over there. That is not going to be comfortable for them. We have the E3 that is basically holding base B. We see some shots being taken. E3 is now taking base B, but they are already at a point disadvantage of about 80 points, well 90 by now. And that will definitely put the pressure on because that's about 3 tanks that you need to take out in order for that to work. And we have a nice little shot there by one of the Batchats, but they did pay for that. All the Batchats are now in town. None of them is capping base C. And we have Pincer that is basically holding. And those AMXs aren't getting their DPM in. Batchats are holding. We now see the Batchats going to base C and grabbing it. We have part of Pincer's team turning around to help deal with that potentially. But 1 Batchat versus 3 is not going to go well for that lone Batchat. And he should wait. They're not even being spotted yet. Wow. And now Primeau has 2 bases, which definitely puts the pressure on Pincer. But Pincer is now moving in to steal the base. And I wonder if Primeau is going to bother stealing it back or if they're going to push base B instead. Shot in going into base C straight away. But it looks like they will be able to cap it. We have the Batchats that are pushing, and I think we're going to see a push now on the other side. So I'm going to take you over there. Because now there's 3/4 tanks there. And the Batchats are moving in. Tanner has lost a bit of HP. We have the Foch that is moving in. Chicks is being steadily destroyed. And we see the same thing happening with this IS-7 over here. The Batchats are focusing on helping their Chicks, but he's already dead. But it did cost them an AMX-50B and an IS-7 to take out one of Primeau's. And now we see the 140 that is coming up behind. He's sustaining massive damage, and there he goes. And now it's 6 versus 4, and Primeau has a definite point advantage, even though Pincer has the bases. But it is not looking good for Pincer at all with the focus fire that we see here. I'm gonna take you in for a little bit of a closer look for the AMX-50B. There he goes. There he goes. And now we have 2 guys left, one of which is an E3 that has a Batchat and a Foch behind him. There goes the Foch. And now it's only the Object 140. And he's 1 reload and 1 shot away. And there he goes. And it's 5-0 basically. And Primeau reached the points. That was over quite quickly. And look at the difference in damage again. I think I don't really understand why Pincer didn't commit to a push much earlier. Especially when they knew that the Batchats were in town. They could have easily overcome those that were there with the amount of tanks that they had extra basically. But that didn't happen. I'm gonna take a sip of drink here. And then I'm gonna see quickly how long we have left before the next matchup. Primeau the only one with points showing just yet. And we will have one in half an hour. So we have some time to fill. That means that I will be showing you some replays. Because I won't bother playing for you on PC. Because you'd see me drive into things and that would be very, very useless. So let's see what I have lined up for you guys. got a nice grill replay. Let's see how that one goes. And I'll check what the stance is for the other teams in a little bit, but I have a feeling that they will still be playing because Primeau just went through the battles quite quickly together with Pincer. So not much time was spent there, basically. So the girl has neither legendary camo. It's not supremacy, so it can go any which way without the points. He's being quite forwards. I'm always a fan of tanks that are forwards, especially in the TD. Even though with grill you do need to be careful because you have no armor to speak of. And we see the IS-4 being spotted all the way over there, but you can't shoot through the guns of the ship. So that's not gonna work either. He is in a very forward position, but he has not spotted anyone. And no, now he has been spotted. And he needs to play this carefully. He has an E100 looking at him. That E100 can do a ton of damage if he's not careful. At the same time, you do want to get your shots in. Come on, Snoopy. This is like, you started so well by being so forward. And now you're not being effective. So he's repositioning himself now. Going after the FV together with the FV. He needs to be careful though, because there will be TDs camping there. And that was unexpected. Love that. This is why I like being frontline with the TD, or relatively frontline. Not to be mistaken with YOLO, because that would be very useless. And there goes the FV. Ooh, nice fire. And he's not fixing it. That's even better. So he's being a bit careful now, and that's a good thing. Wonder if he's gonna take a blind shot. He is, but either it didn't pen or didn't take off enough HP. So basically now Snoopy is doing a solo flanking move with the grill. He has the HP to make it happen, but he has to be a little bit careful. Ooh, that was lucky. But he did kill him off quite nicely. And we know that there's a YOLO wagon somewhere, but he has not been spotted yet. So he's probably hiding at the back somewhere. Because he's not here. Oh, there he is. But now it's 5 versus 4, and they're gonna have a grill up behind them. So that should be fun. Ooh, that's not nice. Laser accuracy, nice, 777. Nice amount of damage in one shot. Yege is asking for help. Snoopy's aiming quite nicely. And there goes the IS-4. Now it's 3 versus 2. Snoopy is still full health. Yege is pretty much dead, but there he goes. But if the IS-7 plays it a little bit carefully, it should be alright. Only these days you have teammates that pretty much never play carefully, so you never know. Ooh, that bounce. He got lucky there. And now teammate is being blocked, which doesn't help. Steal a pen, and that was lucky. That was good. Now we just have the E100 left to contend with. He did shoot, which now means that they can both move in. And I wouldn't be surprised if the I-7, there we go, takes the kill. Well done. Nice teamwork. 5k damage, first class, high caliber, definitely not camping. Big fan of that. Not camping TDs. So that's the first battle. Let's have a quick look to see how it is going, if everyone has battled yet. Not everyone, but we see that Rain has got a point. So day 1 as well. And let's see what else I've got for you. Let's see. Ooh, this should be fun. This is one of my new favorite tanks. And I'll be happy to show it off. I really want it on my main account. I don't have it. And that makes me very sad. Oh, that's nice. And we have Snoopy doing a little bit of a spotting session here. Not coming to a position where I would go, would be a bit more forwards, but that is nice. He does take a shot for it though, so he has to be careful, especially with his cupola, to troll with it as he does, so I'm proud. And you don't want to hold your head still when you're driving this tank because of that cupola. T-57 Heavy is now reloading, so basically has all the time in the world to make that happen. And we see the 1A3 at the back, hitting the snow this time. Now he's reloaded, so he has to be careful. That was nice trolling. And then he gets another shot in himself, and the T-57 Heavy misses the next one. He's being so impatient to get damage that he's missing a lot of shots, that guy. So is Snoopy a little bit, though. And his team has already lost a tank. And now the T-57 Heavy is a one-shot. But his teammate needs urgent help. HE has been loaded. We see some shots going in. We have a grill at the back, but basically the waffle is now priority target. And there he goes. But now we know where the grill is, so that does help. That is not true. Ooh, now he needs to be careful. He's getting shot from the side. He is pulling back quite wisely and repositioning himself a little bit. Looks like he's not sure where to go though. Nice. There goes the Conqueror, but now we have the Batchat and the 1A3 that were up in the hills. And we have a grill that is over there with a very hasty shot that was moving and not aimed. And we know that one of them just passed through the base, but we don't know which one. There goes the grill. No idea what this guy is commenting on. Nice bounce. And that was the end of the Batchat. And there's the 1A3. That was a hit. Nice fire. I wonder if the campers can get him from there. Ooh, that miss. That was lucky. That would have definitely killed him if it had actually hit, but it didn't. So Snoopy gets to live another day. And he aced it with very little damage, but look at the assisted damage that he got. That is almost as much as the damage that he did himself, so that's quite cool. So we still have about 20 minutes to go before the match actually begins. So let's have a look-see at the chart. We now see that Straight has also got a point. And we are just missing one result now. So let's see what else I have for you to show you in the meantime. Oh, this is a funny one. This is a ton of damage, but it's not really an ace. I prefer aces. But I am gonna show you these because it's Darren, so we know that the battle is gonna be good. Tier 9 Chinese CD, I have been seeing it. It seems, well, I wouldn't say OP, but it seems quite strong, especially the gun and everything. And this is Darren's very first battle in it. So it should be fun to see. I just hope he's not gonna camp. Because it's Darren, he might. He is pushing with his teammates, but he's not really looking forwards to going to base A by the looks of it. He's staying near a giant rock here. Possibly to get shots into any flankers that, well, not necessarily flankers, any guys on the other side. And possibly to get shots into anyone that tries to get base B. You can't shoot through the building, unfortunately, so you can't really do much there. Had he actually gone to base A, he could have gotten quite some nice shots in. We have now the VK moving in, and that gives Darren a free shot of damage. Look at that reload, though. Now the VK is a little bit hesitant to move. And Darren is hesitant to shoot, and I think that has everything to do with just the fact that it's such a long reload. You don't want to risk that. Nice. But now it's 5 versus 5. There's 2 tanks over there. One of them is about to die. And the Moiskin is trying to steal a base from them. And that was the end of the Moiskin. That gun though, that's a very big gun. But he did get the base. So now there's 3 guys at base D. And it's 3 versus 4. But I understand how you can get really massive damage games in this tank then. Ooh, that was because you just zoomed out and everything. Why is the guy at A still alive? Of either team, to be honest. If not for the fact that I'm not really into playing TDs at the moment, this would be quite a fun tank to drive, I believe. Now it's 2 versus 4. Nice bounce. He does take a shot there. He makes another nice bounce. And another one. And they need to be careful. They need to take these tanks out of the equation, and they need to get the bases, otherwise they're losing this. There goes the waffle. That was a pen. Nice. Use the moisten, kept the base. I think he wants an HG shot though. There he goes, he switches. And the waffle retreats just in time. But we might still get to see it. Ooh, that was a massive shot. I think the IS-8 is gonna go and cap base B. And Darren is gonna go after the waffle. In this case, I would have switched to AP to avoid hitting tracks and doing too little damage. At the same time, with a gun of this caliber, that might not be an issue. They basically need to grab all the bases in order to win. But where did the waffle go? He did not go that way. This would have been, he could have like snuck up on Darren right now. And this is like, where did he go? Well, probably if he had passed that part, he would have been spotted. The FT is almost dead there. So if he just aims carefully. There we go. And there's the waffle. And there he goes. 4.4k damage. 1k damage bounced. Wow. For a first battle, that's really not bad. And it's only a second class. Generally, when you get this amount of damage in a tank, you do ace it. But not so. So I have time for one more replay for you guys. And after that we will be switching over to the proper games again. Let's see. I can show you an evil battle in the T22. Let me do that. This is not a tank that I really just want to have. I can't wait for it to hit the store or to hit my account in any case. Both this and the T95 E6. I like that he's already expecting snipers. And that the snipers respond. He is being quite forwards in this tank. But as a T22, you can kind of afford to do this. And then have a cheeky cap. There he goes, Centurion. And first shot of damage, even though he was barely aimed. Nice bounce. Ram descent. He is taking a little bit of damage, but look at that reload. Honestly, I want this thing so much. We have an IS-8 that is down below for whatever reason. That is not where I would want my tank to be. He is actually trying to get to base D by the looks of it. And it's costing him a lot. Now we have a mouse. But a mouse is always troll bounces wherever you try to shoot the mouse. IS-8 is already dead now. I wonder if that penned. We have the AMX over there. Michael now turning around to help his teammates with a little bit of a push. And shooting the train thing over there. But that AMX is being way too forwards. He's not going to survive this. Especially when he's positioned like that. Taking all the time in the world for a shot. And there he goes. Then we have a Foch. And it's 7 versus 4. With Diaz along the way. That is a nice big shot. But now he will be useless for quite a bit. And Michael has adrenaline. On top of the fact that his tank already has quite an epic reload. And if he can just get behind him, then the Diaz is basically doomed. Because Diaz can't turn this turret all the way around. Ooh. That bounced though. And there goes the Diaz. We are 4.2k damage in. And it is now 5 versus 3. We have the Foch over there. Not a cheeky shot there. And then he goes down, probably to finish off the Foch. But they have the base advantage. The Foch is now dead. They don't really need another base. But Michael's grabbing it anyway because points. And all we need now is 2 last heavies. The mouse is down below there. We're already 900 points in though, so this is not going to be... it's definitely a assured win, but we're going to see how much damage more he can do. And he activates his adrenaline. Good call, because it lets you get more damage in. And for every kill that you take, the battle lasts another 5 seconds. And that was not aim shot at all. But that was 5.5k damage. That is definitely good damage. Nice ace. 389 supremacy points as well. Tiny bit of assisted damage, but not much. But overall, a really nice game. And now we are just gonna wait because the tournament room should be up soon. In about 2 minutes. And then we get to see Primeau versus Rain Chaos. Let's see how the rest of the teams are doing. We have V, that one. Void scored a point. I wonder who met who. Let's have a look. We had Rain versus Hated. Straight. Versus Von. And that leaves Void versus Rain Chaos. And we are about to see Primeau versus Rain Chaos. Let me have a quick look-see again, because like I said, the map thing, I'm not good at remembering anything right now. So I'm happy that I can just look. Castilla, Main Ruse and Port Bay. So I'm just gonna go back here and then call up the maps for you. We have Castilla, which looks like this. You have base C that is out in the open. You really don't want to be caught there. So many lines of fire that go into that place, especially from camping positions. We have base A that is a little bit more protected, but still tricky because there's long lines of fire possible. And then we have base B. Same thing, big lines of fire, hard to cap because of the fact that it's in the middle of an open space and you can get shot from quite a few angles. And it is useful to cap it, but only if you know where the enemy is. So that's the first map that we're starting with. I'll pull up the other maps when we get to them. We will have a little bit of time to look at that. And there's the room. Let's go. And we have Primeau already present. And almost ready as well. 4.5 minutes left to go. There we go. We're just looking at the lineup right now. We have Brian on the other side, spectating for Rain Chaos. But we have no Rain Chaos just yet. There is a 5-minute delay, so people can very easily just give everything away already, because by the time anyone else sees it, we'll already be the battle will basically already be over. And the 5-minute delay is to keep people from looking at the lineups and what people are doing, and by the time you would get the information, it would be way too old anyway. 3 minutes 40 seconds left to go. I don't think Brian is taking us on his own. And Primeau is still not completely ready up, but we have 3.5 minutes left, so they have plenty of time for that. But that does mean that I can't talk about the lineup and what I think they might be doing. So far, I've seen teams being quite spread out on this map, with a few at base C overlooking things, some at base A or at the Citadel, and 1 or 2 campers on the ridges, and potentially 1 behind base B on each side, depending on, of course, where you spawn. We have a Churchill gun carrier. I'm pretty sure that they will not be entering the battle with that, but they do have 3 minutes left before they need to be ready, so they have some time. There we go. Rain just entered the building. And now we're just waiting for everyone to ready up so we can talk about the team lineup and everything. And this should be interesting, mainly because Rain, as a clan, is sort of like a collection from Clan Wars teams from other clans. So it will be cool to see how... This is the first time that I'm watching any team of Rain. And they have 2 teams in this professional tournament. Rain and Rain Chaos. So it will be fun to see. Now we have a complete lineup for Rain with 3 IS-4s, a Batchat, a 140, an STB, and a 268. So that's quite a bit of mobility, which does suggest that they will be focusing on all sides of the battle, or at least at base A. But I don't think you ever leave base C completely unprotected, especially if you have a camper tank on one of the ridges. You will want a spotter there to get some targets for them. And on Primeau's side we have 2 Batchats, an IS-4, an IS-7, 2 268s and an E50M. So that again, quite a bit of mobility, and it can really go either which way with these. And we have a minute and a half left to go. And then we will see what happens. And this is like, everybody's ready, why can't we just enter the battle? Oh no, now Tommy is not quite ready. Now he is again. I find it quite fun to look at the way that people ready up, then unready, then ready up again. I think that has something to do with equipment being changed, or ammo reload being redone. Or just picking camos and making your tank look pretty. That's of course a possibility as well. You don't see all that many legendary camos in these matches. Pretty much people stick to either the colorful ones or the Clan Wars ones or stuff like that. But yeah, if it works, it works. And it doesn't really matter for the effects of the tank, because the tank will still be the same. So in 20 seconds thereabouts we will be able to go into the battle, see what they do with the lineup, see where they go, who they shoot, how many points they amass and everything. Six, 5, 4, and here we go. Lots of lights on Rain's side as avatars. And we have the Batchat splitting up. We have part of Rain's team going towards base A. And the Batchat is also going towards base C on that side. So that will be fun. They will be spotting each other, I think. Batchat making a cheeky push here. We have a 268 that is in position to camp. And we see first shots being fired, but no damage being done yet. No base being capped. But Unique is in a good position to basically spot targets for his team. And with the long lines of fire, it will be hard for Rain to do anything about that. We have Enzyme that is coming up as well. On the other side, people have not been spotted. No base has been kept yet. We have an IS-4 in waiting there. We see now that the Batchat has dropped into a bush. He has been spotted now. This can be very expensive for the Batchat, especially with the 268. That was a barely aim shot, but it did hit pen. And now we have a Batchat with only 500 HP left, which is quite achievable for quite a few people. Ooh, almost 82 HP left. Rijk did take some shots there. But if you can take a gun out of the equation, that can generally be well worth it. At the same time, we have a little bit of damage being done to Unique over here. We have the STB being spotted. 268 is behind there, so they probably know that there's someone gonna be there. So they will be careful. We have Rijk moving in, potentially for a kill. And the rest just holding with the 140, backing up the IS-4, backing up the Batchat. Batchat is hiding, which I think is a good call because you don't want to lose that gun. We have the IS-4 with the 268 behind there. And we currently now have a bit of a stalemate, because not much is happening. 268 repositioned himself. Good call. Because once you get shot, you don't want them to know where you are. And even Steven is overlooking base A. We now see Rain pulling together for potentially a push. Primeau holding, moving back together to form a cluster. And I think we're gonna see a push soon. There we go. They have been spotted. We are shots seen taken. They are rushing Rijk. But Rijk is not altogether alone. He has help from 268s. That was an expensive miss, so I'm gonna take you behind so that we can see more of what's going on. Base B has been capped now, so the points are going up in Rain's favor. And that will be tricky because basically this was a diversion. That was epically played, guys. Well done. They will need to grab a base in order to make this work. And I think Unique is gonna get that base. But all the same, Rain has the point advantage now by at least 100 points if they were to grab base A, which they are not. And Rijk is taking quite some damage. We have the 268s there, but they can't really get any shots in, because they didn't have any targets. Now we see Rain pushing more. Shots being fired. Massive damage being done. All to try and take out Rijk. But this is not looking good for the guys that are pushing. There he goes. They lost 2 tanks for one of theirs. Batchat being focused now, but that means that you turn your turret and that can cost you a lot of HP. Look at this. The IS-4 is being absolutely deleted. Tanner is almost gone, but he does manage to get a kill. And then he turns back. That was lucky he survived. But there he goes. And now it's 5 versus 3. Amorax is almost dead. We have the IS-4 here that is basically being massacred. There he goes. And now it's 5 versus 2. That includes a very unhealthy Batchat. Hang on, I'm gonna take you. There we go. 268 versus 268. One of the 268s will win. But one of the 268s had a lot more teammates. And it's a matter of who gets the kill. And it's even Steven that gets it. Very aggressive gameplay. And that's the first match gone. I think that I like that they wanted to push Rijk, but they waited too long to actually commit to that. And when they did, Primeau was all ready, and they focused fire so well. So now with a minute and a half left to go, we have a complete lineup for Rain with a Mouse, 2 AMX 50Bs, 2 268s, and potentially 2 IS4s. No, 1 IS4 and a Batchat. And on the other side, we see a 1A3. Ooh, don't see that often. Because it is a huge risk to take that. And it is being changed into an STB. But now we see another 1A3. So we have an STB, we have a 268, we have a Mouse, 2 Batchats, an AMX 50B, and potentially a Death Star. So that will be fun to see. Death Stars are so tricky, because if they get the shot in, and I think that's why it's now been changed to 268, if they get a shot in, they do massive amounts of damage. But if they don't, they're pretty much useless for nearly half a minute, and they can't they don't have really much armor, so it will be very hard to bounce in that tank. Whereas the 268 has the mobility that makes up for the slight lack of firepower, and it has the draw armor that helps make up for that as well. Well, lack of firepower compared to the Death Star, that is. It is still a very strong tank that does massive hits, as we have been seeing quite often in these battles. And here we go. Let's see what they will do this time, where they will go. We have Primeau going up the middle with the Batchats and the 268s, I should say. And we have the STB and the AMX 50B going towards base A. We see most of Rain going towards base A as well, with one loner that will be overlooking base C in a Mouse. That is tricky bit as well, because Mouse is hard to reload and to reposition. We have the Batchats very cheekily trying to grab base B, but there will be 2 AMXs there, so that might be difficult. Mouse has been spotted. They have the base, they just need to get out of there now and see if they can stay alive. Sorry about that. And now Rain has base A, Primeau has base B, but Primeau has a slight points advantage and a very slight HP advantage. 268 overlooking base B. We have Rain that is basically just repositioning himself potentially for a push with the 2 268s that are also moving in. I think we're gonna see quite a push here. And Chicks will be in a lot of trouble, because with the Mouse you can't really run away. No one has been spotted yet. And the only one not there is the Mouse on the other side. The Mouse has now been spotted, so he knows that people are coming. But he doesn't know who, and he doesn't know how, and he doesn't know when. Shots are now being fired, people have been spotted. And we see Tanner that is repositioning himself. The Mouse just needs to hold. It's an armored house. And he just needs to stay where he is and see if he can survive as long as he can. He is bleeding HP though. And like I said, he would be in trouble when they came. He does have some help from the Batchat, but the Batchat needs to be careful. And the Batchat probably needs to run now. Both mice are gone. But now the Batchat is in definite trouble, but he has a TD behind him. That took a nice shot, that took a tank out. But the Batchat is probably not gonna survive this. There he goes. And now both tanks have lost both teams have lost 2 tanks. But Primeau has a definite HP advantage. And we have Reich with 1 shot left, which he takes. And the IS-4 is being shot quite badly. But Primeau still has 4 full HP tanks, and that can't be said from Rain. At the same time, Reich is being absolutely focused. And that will be tricky because he's now a one-shot for at least the 268. And we see some massive damage being done now. Shots being taken. The STB is losing HP steadily. He needs to get out of there, which means giving up the high ground. We have Reich that is appearing here. Shots being taken to the bum of the 268. Unique finishing it off. And now it's 5 versus 4. We have Amorax that is not going to live long. There he goes. Mendosuka just got killed as well. We have a Batchat versus an STB. There goes the STB. But now it's only Wolfie left alive for Rain. And this is not looking good for them. Especially now that Primeau is stealing their base. This is a nice tricky move though, but they see where he is. Reich is reloading, so he can't shoot yet. But the 268 is reloaded. But because of the position of the STB, they can't really do much from there. And now Wolfie is gonna go in. He's getting a shot in. And that bounced though. And there he goes. Well played, good effort. And that is the second match gone to Primeau from this matchup. So now we are moving to Mayan Ruins. I'm just gonna show you the map real quick as soon as I find it. It is somewhere here. There it is. 3 bases. We have base A, which is basically the heavy side base. We have base C, that is med base, and base B, that is pretty much anyone's base. But if you gap it, it will be very hard for the enemy to decap it. Because of the fact that it's so out in the open, there's so many lines of fire that go in it. I have seen some very cheeky caps on this map though, so it will be fun to see if they do that as well. I'm gonna remove the map so that we can't miss it. I'm gonna ready up so that we can't miss the battle. And we have Primeau with a full lineup in an IS-4, 3 140s, a mouse, and 2 AMX-50Bs. Whereas Rain has 2 AMX-50Bs, 2 140s, 2 IS-4s, and the E3. No mouse. We often do see a mouse in these lineups on this map. So I wonder what they're gonna do. Based on the lineup, they can really go anywhere. And this is one of the most interesting maps because it's team play. And that basically means that it can go anywhere. You don't need to stick to what would be logical in randoms. Because with the lineup, I would have the mats go base C and then see what happens. But as a team, you can be so much more effective if you just stay together. So it can go either which way. So in 9 seconds we get to go into the battle, we get to see what happens. The pressure is definitely on Rain right now, because if Rain Chaos does not win this battle, that means that the point goes to Primeau. And here we go. Up, up, and away. We have Primeau focusing a bit on both sides, whereas Rain is doing pretty much a C move. They're all heading towards C. I think those AMXs want to get, not necessarily the points, they want to overlook base B to get any points that they might get when the enemy team pushes. But it's these 3 objects that will be in a lot of trouble once everyone has been spotted. And that's not yet the case, but I hope that they're ready to run very fast. They are moving in sync, which is quite nice. And pretty much all of Rain is there. They don't know that yet, but they haven't spotted anyone yet, but they have pretty much a clue where everyone is now. And those objects are wise to go away very fast, but they're turning around. Potentially to catch them. Ooh, Enzyme just took some massive hits there. We have the Tanner moving in. And I think they should have just kept running. There is a nice line of fire coming from the other side. But ooh, Enzyme, the objects are being absolutely ripped to shreds. And this is not good for the DPM that you want on your team. And there goes Unique. And there goes Enzyme. And there goes Chipotle. And this is not looking good for Primeau at all. Look at the way that battle turned so fast. We have the mouse that is arriving, the AMX that is getting a shot in. But they lost 3 guns already, and this is not... There we go, there goes Even Steven. It's 7 versus 3. Very aggressive push by Rain. This is definitely their game. And it's just a matter of time. Tommy did get killed there. But with so many guns that are gunning at you and the focus fire that will be happening. We have Rijk that is just reloaded. But he's getting focused now by one of the 140s. And he has only 1 shot left. Standard just disappeared. Rijk is almost gone. And he's on long reload. There goes Rijk. And now we have Chicks in the mouth. All alone versus 6 tanks. And there he goes. Again, very aggressive gameplay by Rain. Well played. And definitely not expected. And those objects should have kept running. I think that if they had done that, it would have been quite different. And look at the amount of damage done in such a short amount of time. We could see it building up and then it just happened. But again, the pressure is on Rain. Any match that they lose now means that Primeau gets the point. But an aggressive push like that, it worked out. And I think that they're not going to do that again. At the same time, because the enemy probably would think that they're not going to do it again, they might do it again. That's the lovely thing about tactics. Can go anyway. Every way. And we now have Primeau with an interesting lineup. We see 2 E50Ms. We see an IS-4, 2 140s, a Batchat and a VK. We've not seen that much yet. Generally it's the mouse that is preferred to the VK. And on Rain's side we see 2 AMX 50Bs, 2 140s, 2 IS-4s and an E3. And one of the 140s has just been changed to an E50M. And in 45 seconds we're going to see what they're going to do with this lineup. I wonder if we're going to see another big push and epic rush like that. Or if we're going to see more tactical gameplay. And in 25 seconds we get to go. To be honest, I love when a game throws you like that. You expect like this gentle build up and tactics and exchange of fire, and there's no, we're gonna rush and we're gonna focus fire, and everybody's dead all of a sudden. And here we go. Let's see what they do now. If Primeau is going to play a lot more defensively because of what happened the last match or not. We see Rain now pushing fully towards base A. Or at least not towards base C. We see Primeau with more focus on base C this time. And it will pretty much be the VK and the IS-4s that might be in a lot of trouble with this. Rain steadily holding together, moving as a group. We see A7XO that is cheekily capping base B. And that VK might be in a lot of trouble for doing this. They know that they're going to be at base A now. But I wonder if they're going to get away with this. And A7XO is in a lot of trouble there. He is positioning himself to move back. But he's probably going to lose some HP doing that. And he's actually staying down. That is very tricky. But he does have teammates behind him. We see a push of the Batchats and basically all the mats. They're on the way. They are at the back. We have Mendosukai that just took some damage. Shots being fired all around. Tommy, we see a push here with the AMXs. But it is costing them quite a bit of HP to do that. They are focus firing quite nicely on Chipotle. Massive shots being taken. And there goes Amorex. He is out of the equation. I'm gonna take a little bit more back so that we can see the whole line of fire. At the same time, we don't want to miss the action. And we see Tanner losing a lot of HP there. But Rain is bleeding HP and bleeding tanks. The AMX is in long reload now. And he's already taken out of the equation. We have the IS-4 and the 140 here. We have A7XO that is definitely gonna die. But look at the amount of tanks. Look at this. This is just a bloodbath. There's no other way to describe it. And now it's 6 versus 2. And this is not looking good for Rain. I think that if they had made an aggressive push as I thought they were gonna do, it would have worked out. But now, Wolvie survives with full HP. But the game is for Primeau. Nicely played, both teams. These matches were good fun to commentate on. I'm gonna see if we know yet what's going on for the rest. Eclipse and Rain and Primeau all have 2 points now. And the ones we don't know yet. Let's see what happens to Pincer. Pincer lost 2. Then we have Von. Von lost 2 as well. So we know that that was that lineup. We have Hated. That is probably still going then. Yeah, Hated versus Straight is still going. So that's the only one that we're waiting for right now. I'm not going to show you a replay. I'm just going to wait a little bit before we do that. Before we look into that. And I'm curious what result we're gonna be. So far, it has been quite weird, to be honest. ID in Asia server has lost both matchups today, so they have no points. Raid on EU server, that was the world champion of last year's Twister, same thing, lost both matchups, 0 points. So it's weird. What's going on? And here we have a completely different meta right now because of the clan changes and the team changes and everything. Come on, show us some results. I know that it says that it refreshes every 5 minutes, but I'm just really impatient. I just want to see. I hate that it's no longer showing what the current score is. It used to, and that was quite nice, because then we could see what the current stance was and how many games there were left to play and what the pressure would be on what team and everything. But that is not the case anymore. So we are just waiting a little bit. We are admiring my Fury. This was a tank that I was so glad when they finally sold it again, because it was basically the one that nearly got away. Because I missed out on it the first time because I had no point yet, no clue yet about premium tanks and their meaning and whether or not they were good or not. And it was one of the few premium tanks at the time that I missed out on. By now I've chosen not to buy a hell of a lot of them, especially when they come in crates like the AMX 30B. And now we still don't know. Primeau's point has updated, so I think that this is still going. But I like this. If Straight wins this, and even if Hated wins this instead, you have quite a nice spread, so far at least, point-wise. And anything can happen. I like that there's... that it's always more interesting later in round robins to see what happens with the points. Because then you get more of a clue of what happens. And how much pressure there is on, and which clans come out on top. Because right now, it's logical that there will be at least 4 teams with points. It could be 8 teams with points, but we don't see that often. I'm gonna go... I just and keep going back because I'm not sure if it refreshes it if I stay in it. Is it there yet? Yes, it is. Straight 1. So we have V, well, Void, Primeau, Rain, and Straight, all with 2 points. And that is the end of the first day of the round robins for the professionals tournament on the NA server. So that is it for tonight. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be streaming again in about 8 hours. No, wait, nearly 9 hours for the Asia server, the second day of the round robins. And in the evening for EU again. Not NA that night because these streams happen at around 3 AM. And I can only survive that on Saturdays because that means I can sleep and take it easy on Sundays. And I have work on Monday, so unfortunately NA isn't getting as much coverage as I would like, but there's no helping that. So thank you all for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you guys next time again. Good night!